In the quiet room where echoes stay, a lonely soul kneels down to pray, not for riches, not for light, but just to win one more small fight. The walls are close, the air is thin, a storm of silence grows within. No thunder roars, no rain is loud, yet pain stands tall, bitter and proud. A smile lives upon the face, but sorrow never leaves its place. Eyes may shine like morning dew, but nights inside are long and blue. Footsteps move through daily noise, among the laughter, lights, and joys. Yet every cheer that passes by feels like a stranger's distant cry. The heart once danced in open fields, where hope was strong, a shining shield, but time, with hands so cold and slow, turned blooming springs to silent snow. Memories knock on fragile doors, bringing ghosts from distant shores. Each one whispers, soft but clear, you lost yourself while hiding fear. Dreams once painted skies so wide, now fold their wings and choose to hide. Like birds afraid of broken air, they build their nests in dark despair. There's a corner no one sees, behind polite apologies, where tears collect but never fall, a hidden ocean, silent wall. The mirror shows a steady face, no sign of storms time can't erase. But deep beneath that calm disguise, 1,000 unheard questions rise. Why does love so often leave? Why do hearts still dare believe? Why does kindness meet goodbye? Why must gentle spirits cry? The clock keeps ticking, cold and straight. It never pauses, never waits, but broken hearts feel every beat, like walking barefoot on defeat. Hands once reached for skies above, trusting every word called love, now folded tight across the chest, protecting wounds that never rest. Voices say, you're doing fine, you're strong, you'll heal, just give it time. But strength gets tired, hope feels small, when night grows tall and shadows crawl. Darkness is not lack of sun, it's battles fought and never won. It's laughing loud while dying slow, a private pain you never show. Some scars live where eyes can't trace, etched in silence, not on face. They bloom in thoughts at 3 a.m., when sleep forgets to comfort them. A crowded room, yet all alone. A heart that feels like sinking stone, surrounded by a world so near, yet drowning in invisible fear. Trust was once a flowing stream, clear and soft like childhood dream. Now it's ice that barely breaks, fragile under smallest shakes. Every stay once meant forever. Now it means we part whenever. Words lost weight, promises bend. Love feels like a temporary friend. Still, the heart, foolish, brave, keeps digging hope from every grave, lighting candles in the rain, willing still to feel the pain. Because to stop would mean to freeze, to turn to dust on wounded knees. So even cracked and torn apart, it beats, the darkness of the heart. The night sits heavy on the chest, like grief that never learned to rest. Breathing feels like borrowed air, each sigh a quiet, worn-out prayer. Windows hold a pale moon's glow, a light that watches from below. But even moonlight, soft and far, can't mend a soul with hidden scars. Thoughts wander roads with no return, where lessons ache and memories burn. Every turn leads back again to rooms still whispering of pain. There's a name the lips won't say, yet it lives in thoughts each day, like ink that sank too deep to fade, a permanent mark the heart has made. Old laughter echoes down the hall, a ghostly, distant, fragile call, reminding how it used to be when joy arrived so easily. Now happiness feels like a guest, who never stays, who never rests. It knocks, it smiles, then slips away, leaving longer shades of gray. The heart keeps files of every loss, every bridge, every burning cross, every almost, every why, every last and last goodbye. Some goodbyes are loud and clear, others disappear in fear. No final word, no closing door, just absence where love stood before. Questions bloom like winter trees, bare and shaking in cold breeze. Was I not enough to hold? Did my warmth just turn too cold? Time replies with empty hands, scattering dust across the lands, offering no grand excuse, only memories worn and loose. There are smiles practiced in the glass, perfect masks the days can pass. So no one asks, no one can tell how close the heart has been to hell. Strength becomes a silent role, played by every wounded soul, clapping for itself at night for simply making it to light. The pillow knows what eyes deny, how quietly the strong ones cry, how tears fall slow, without a sound, like autumn leaves upon the ground. Dreams now knock but hesitate, afraid to meet the same old fate. So they stand outside the door, not believing in once more. Love once felt like open skies, now it's measured, small in size, given out in careful parts with trembling hands and guarded hearts. Yet somewhere deep, beneath the ache, past every crack and every break, a spark still breathes, a stubborn flame, too soft to see, too wild to tame. It flickers when a song appears, when kindness wipes a stranger's tears, when sunrise paints the edge of gray, and night reluctantly gives way. The heart, though tired, still recalls how it once ran through golden halls, and wonders if beyond this night another dawn still waits with light. So even wrapped in shadow tight, it searches still for signs of light. Through shattered trust and torn apart, hope tiptoes in the darkened heart. Because the dark, no matter deep, cannot erase what souls still keep. A quiet wish, a fragile start, a dawn inside the broken heart. There are storms that never show, no lightning strike, no winds that blow, yet inside ribs the thunder stays, rolling through unspoken days. The heart remembers every fall, every time it gave its all, every door it held wide open just to leave itself more broken. Regret sits quietly in chairs, counting ifs and unanswered prayers, replaying scenes in endless loops, building cages out of truths. I should have known, I should have seen, I should have stopped what might have been. But hindsight speaks with perfect sight in rooms that only know the night. Some wounds don't bleed, they echo instead, living softly inside the head, turning silence into screams and peaceful sleep to shattered dreams. Even joy can start to ache when you fear how much it takes, because the higher hearts can fly, the harder they believe goodbye. So feelings shrink, grow small and tight, avoiding both the dark and light, choosing numb instead of pain, like drought instead of risking rain. But numbness is a quiet thief, stealing sorrow, stealing relief, leaving life in shades of gray, where even hope feels far away. There are days the chest feels stone, heavy, hollow, overthrown, where breathing seems a chore to do, and nothing tastes the way it knew. Words from others fade like air, kind but unable to repair, because some cracks run far too deep for promises alone to keep. Still, the heart, stubborn, strange, whispers softly, things can change, not loud enough to lead the way, but enough to make it stay. It beats through doubt, through loss, through fear, through empty nights and unseen tears, a fragile drum that won't depart, echoing inside the dark. Maybe healing isn't fast, maybe pain has roots that last, maybe light comes thin and slow, like morning through a window's glow. Maybe strength is simply this, waking up and not dismissing the quiet war you fight inside, yet choosing still not to hide. So even in the blackest part, where hope feels torn and torn apart, something gentle still remains, a pulse beneath the weight of chains. Not a shout, not blazing fire, just a tired but true desire. To feel again, to try once more, though hurt still waits behind the door. And that small wish, though faint and slight, is how the heart survives the night, how it breathes through every scar, finding strength in who we are. There comes a point in silent pain where tears no longer fall like rain. They dry upon the edge of sight, leaving salt but not the fight. The heart grows tired of breaking loud, of screaming storms behind a cloud, so it learns a quieter art, how to carry night in heart. It walks through days with careful grace, shadow and light upon its face, not healed, not whole, not free of scar, but stronger than it knows it are. Because surviving leaves a mark, a different kind than made by dark, a line of steel beneath the skin, a quiet proof. You did not give in. The past still knocks some evenings late, with old regrets and second fate. But now the door is opened less, pain no longer runs the chest. Memories still ache at times, like old songs heard in distant chimes. But they don't drag the soul below. They pass, like winter's final snow. The heart begins to understand not every loss was out of hand. Not every ending meant defeat. Some roads must break to change our feet. Trust returns in fragile threads, not rushing where it once had sped, but step by step, in cautious art, it stitches light into the heart. There's courage in the smallest things. Answering calls or how one sings, getting up when sleep feels tight, choosing day instead of night. Healing doesn't shout or shine. It's quiet as a growing vine, climbing walls it once feared near, rooted deep in facing fear. And sometimes, in the middle of a simple, ordinary love, a friend's warm laugh, a gentle tone, the heart feels less completely alone. It startles at the unfamiliar peace, as if waiting for it to cease, but slowly learns not all calm lies, not every smile is disguise. The darkness never fully leaves. It lives in corners, softly breathes, but it no longer owns the room. It shares its space with bits of bloom. And in that balance, strange and true, between the old pain and the new, the heart discovers something smart. Light looks different in the dark. It's not a blaze that blinds the eyes. It's gentle truth without disguise. A steady glow that doesn't part. A lantern grown inside the heart. So yes, there was a crushing night. And yes, the wounds were deep and tight. But still the heart, through every scar, carried a quiet, hidden star. Not to erase the ache that's been, but to remind what lives within. Even where the shadows start, there beats a brave, unbroken heart. Morning doesn't rush the sky. It stretches slow. It doesn't try to force the dark to disappear. It simply stays and light grows near. Just like healing in the chest, it doesn't come when we request. It rises quiet, thin, and small, almost unnoticed at first call. One day the weight feels slightly less, still heavy, just not crushing press. A breath comes deeper than before. A window opens, just a door. You don't announce, "I'm finally strong." You just survive another long, uncertain day with trembling art. And that's the mending of the heart. The pain once shouted every hour, now speaks in echoes, losing power. It's still a chapter, still a scar, but not the only thing you are. You start to see with gentler eyes the broken parts you used to despise, the cracks that let more kindness through, the soft in you that somehow grew. Because the ones who've known the night, who've fought alone without a light, carry a depth the world can feel, a quiet strength, a tender steel. They hear the tremble in a voice. They see the hidden, silent choice to keep on going, though it's hard to breathe with ribs still battle-scarred. And slowly, without grand display, life finds its color back to gray, then hints of blue, then shades of gold, in ordinary days you hold. A cup of tea, a breeze at noon, a random, soft, familiar tune, a laugh that comes without defense. Small things that build resilience. The heart, once certain it was through, begins to want, begins to move, not reckless like it did before, but open just a little more. It learns that love is not a chain, nor proof against all future pain, but still a risk worth stepping near, even with the ghost of fear. It learns that loss does not erase the worth, the warmth it once embraced, that being left does not define the value of a love sincere. So step by step, with careful beat, the heart returns to living street, still carrying night in its art, but no longer only dark. Because the truth, so soft, so smart, was always hidden in the heart. Darkness never came to stay, it came to carve the light its way. And every tear that once fell fast-watered seeds that grew at last, roots of empathy and grace that bloom in unexpected place. So if tonight feels thick and long, if breathing feels like doing wrong, remember this: though pain feels smart, dawn is built inside the heart. The sunrise doesn't ask the night why it stayed or hid the light. It simply paints the edges gold around the story's sorrow told. And in that glow, so soft, so wide, the heart no longer needs to hide the cracks, the dents, the fragile seams. They shimmer now like silver streams. What once felt like a breaking end reveals the shape of how we bend, how falling didn't mean we're through, but shaped a deeper, kinder view. You carry darkness differently, not as a weight, but memory. A language only souls who've known the hollow hours can truly own. It lets you sit with someone's pain without the need to fix the rain, to say, I'm here, and let that be the quietest form of remedy. The heart that walked through endless night now guards a small, unshaking light, not loud enough to blind the day, but strong enough to lead the way. There will be days the shadows rise, old clouds returning to the skies, but now you know they always part. They pass, they do not own the heart. You've learned that feelings come and go, like winter winds and summer glow, and none, no matter sharp or deep, are meant to stay, are meant to keep. You've learned your worth was never tied to who remained or who denied, not measured by another's stay, nor broken by their walking away. So when the mirror holds your stare, you see more than the ache once there. You see a soul that faced the art of standing whole with broken heart. And that is a different kind of beauty few will ever find. A quiet fire, steady, smart, born in the dark of the heart. So let the past be what it was, a chapter, not the final cause. Let tears be proof you dared to feel, not signs that you could never heal. Because the bravest hearts are not the ones that never faced the rot, but those who, standing torn apart, still chose to keep a beating heart. And if one day the dark returns, as life in circles twists and turns, you'll greet it not with fear or start, but with the wisdom of your heart. You'll know the night is not the end, just shadow where new lights ascend, a passing phase, a drifting part in the vast sky of the heart. So here you stand, not free of scar, but brighter now because they are a living dawn, a work of art, the light that grew in the dark heart.